So, good evening. Welcome back to another show. Tonight, I've got a Wolves fan called Matty. Good evening to you, Matty.
Good evening. Good evening.
And how's things? You okay?
Yeah, very good. Very good. Looking forward to the game.
Fantastic. Me and Matt's gonna chat about the match between Newcastle against Wolves on Saturday. Need to kick off 8 o'clock, and it's an important game for both our teams. I think Wolves will probably be safe if they win another game or two, and Newcastle, you need as much wins as possible for many, many reasons. So if you like the video, could you please stick a like on the video and smash the likes up? You smash the subscribe button as well, and please leave comments sections down below. And if you've got any questions for Matty, then he'd be quite happy to tap him. So, Matty, you're a Wolves fan, and not been the best of seasons at the moment in time. I'm not going to lie to you, but you picked up 3 wins and a draw in the last 4 games. You're coming a bit of form now, and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, so obviously it's been a very sobering season for us, since Nuno took charge. Obviously, the first season under Nuno, he took a team from 15th or 14th, in the Championship to he absolutely steamrolled the Championship. Obviously, there was questions of one of the best teams ever to be promoted. And then, obviously, season afterwards, first season in the Premier League, I think we just completely overachieved, if I'm honest with you. I think everyone knew when Wolves came up, every other season we was in the Premier League, we was always sort of floating around at the bottom. But I think we knew it would be different this time. But I mean, obviously, he took us straight into a European place and a semi-final of the FA Cup as well. And then obviously the next season after that as well, he got us to a quarter-final of the Europa League. So yeah, certainly this season has been a lot more sobering. And you're right, up until a couple of weeks ago, to be honest, we were looking over our shoulders a little bit as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't going to lie. I think Wolves would be too good to go doing anyway. I never had any doubts that your team's going to get relegated because you've got a cracking manager in Nuno Santo, and he was being linked to 1 or 2 clubs at the time, but obviously he's happy. I hope he signs a new deal because he's a cracking manager for me. And would you say he's the best manager you ever had in your generation?
Oh God, yeah. Without a shadow of a doubt. He's probably obviously Wolves in the 50s and the 60s were one of the best teams around, and obviously way before our time with the Stan Cullis era. But I'd say most Wolves fans and even the older generation would say he's certainly up there with probably Stan Cullis and one of the best coaches. But yeah, definitely in my lifetime, 100%.
Yeah, because see what he does is very good crack. He plays a fantastic brand of football as well because he loves his 3 centre halves. He has played 4 at the back in a couple of games. Has gone back to 3 centre backs, 3-4-3, and sometimes 3-5-2. And you got some cracking players there. You got at the centre, the back 3. You got Cordy. He's a leader at the back. He's definitely your leader.
Yeah.
And Said as well looks a quality defender. The Donker's getting better. And the one I like for your team at the moment is 2, and 2 or 3 I like for your team. But Nuno, it was quality. And you got Ruben Neves in your midfield as well. He's scored some cracking goals. And what I'm going to look forward to on Saturday is Neto. I think the guy is absolutely dynamic.
Yeah, so obviously we sold Diogo Jota in the summer for about 45 million pounds, give or take. And obviously, big miss. Obviously, he was doing bits at Liverpool up until his injury. He scored a few hat-tricks for us as well. He scored, I think, 2 hat-tricks in Europe as well last year, which is absolutely ridiculous. But obviously, Pedro Neto, he was kind of his understudy last season. And then towards, certainly after COVID, when he started breaking through, I think people started to be like, wow, who's this kid? They found another one. But, certainly this season with Jota going and obviously the injury to Jimenez, which we'll touch on later, he's to be honest, in a lot of ways, he's carried us this season. He's an absolute gem. And, I think the biggest signing for us in the summer will be to keep hold of him because he's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and he's destined for the very, very as well. And I'm quite worried about my fullbacks at the moment in time, which I'm going to come to later on as well. Yeah, I mean, I think he's out of contract at the end of the season. Nuno, has he signed a new deal yet? Or
no, he's not. So it was earlier on in the year he signed a new 3-year deal. So, but it's ironic that you should come to that because obviously a few weeks ago when we were certainly looking over our shoulders a little bit, and we crashed out the FA Cup quite disappointingly to Southampton. It was a good chance of a very good run in that competition, and it was a big debate over Nuno in, Nuno out, and a lot of people, the first thing people look to when things are going down is the manager. Now, I was a little bit on the fence, to be honest, because some of the football we were playing in that run of form was pretty dreadful. And I kind of feel like sometimes maybe he has a handbrake on a little bit. But I mean, in our darkest hour, I said I'd love nothing more. And I still trust that Nuno can turn it around. And whilst we've still got our problems, obviously, we are starting to pull results now, and it just goes to show that, it's not always the manager. When things have happened, there's a lot more there than meets the eye.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is, at the end of the day, you need to keep on to Nuno as long as you can, because for me, I think he's still a quality manager. He's still young, and commonplace and good stuff he uses as well, and he pulls it out of the fire as well. And I'm worried about Saturday as well, because I think you'll probably beat us on Saturday anyway, if I'm going to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, what can he do? And yeah, credit to the Premier League, and that's all that's there, sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, we've got to talk about Raul Jimenez. You say you touched on Jimenez as well. I mean, that injury against Arsenal was very, very shocking. First of all, I'm glad he's getting better now, and he's back on the mend. And it'd be great to see Raul back on the pitch very, very soon. And yeah, I hope you keep him as well. Because for me, he's your focal point up front, and for me, he's one of the best strikers in the Premier League.
Yeah, so obviously the Jimenez injury. I mean, he's a fantastic player, and sickening injury really, and completely accidental. And these things happen. They're multi-million-pound footballers, but they're too. It sounds a bit dramatic, but they risk legs breaking and everything. So for an injury like that to come back, I think it's a bit of an interesting one, because when it comes to a head injury, from the neck down, you're going to be okay. So I think it's important that you think of the player's health. As much as Wolves fans want to see him back on the pitch scoring goals, you have to look at the importance of the guy's health. And, I mean, you look at us and you're thinking, we're probably not going to get relegated, in all honesty. I think we probably need 4 or 5 points to be sure. So I think it's good, while it's really good and sobering to see him, back kicking balls. I think you're only really going to know when he starts heading the ball, to be honest. So I think, just keep taking your time, get it, and just hopefully he can get back. Because, like I said, the health is the most important thing, but it could have been a lot worse. So it's really pleasing to see him back on his feet and running around and stuff.
Yeah, so I do like Raul Jimenez. So for me, first of all, I'm glad that he's back and back to end the goal, and I hope he comes down the pitch very, very soon. And fingers crossed, when he comes down the pitch, he gets some goals for you, But in this place, you got a loan signing called William Jose from Sociedad, and how's he getting on?
So I like William Jose a lot, and obviously Fabio Silva, young lad, came in from Porto, world at his feet, massive price tag on him, not his fault at all, and he's been thrown in at the deep end. And there's been certainly a lot of encouraging signs. He's got a couple of goals, in all fairness, and he's been thrown at the deep end. But is he ready to be starting up front for a Premier League team at this moment in time? If I'm honest, the answer is no. But so obviously we've got an experienced guy in William Jose, and he's really tidy on the ball, to be honest. He holds the ball up well. He's yet to score, but I think the first game he came in was Chelsea away, and right at the end he got a block on the line, which got us a point against rejuvenated Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel. And then the next game against Arsenal were absolutely all over us, in all honesty, in that game. And Daniel Podence slips him through. He gets the head of Luiz, and he gets the contact, goes down. I know there's a massive debate between Wolves and Arsenal. Should it have been a red and a pen? Shouldn't it? I'm not going to give my opinion on that. All I'm going to say is it happened. And, these are two massive things that realistically have contributed to our success in recent weeks. He hasn't got on the score sheet yet. I believe there's a £20 million price tag to sign, but it's an option, not an obligation. So it'll be interesting. I mean, we've got I think 14 games left. So, you know, he's certainly got a case, but I still think he needs to do a little bit more. He probably needs to get on the score sheet a little bit. But he's quite similar to Jimenez in many ways, in terms of he holds the ball up and he brings others into play. You know, he complements Neto, Traore very well. But Jimenez has obviously just got that little bit of genius where he can get away as well and create chances for himself and score goals. I think if I remember correctly, he scored a very good goal, Jimenez did, against yourselves before the late equaliser.
Yeah, it was cracking goal. It's just poor clearance from Joe Litwell. People say it was a striker's clearance, but I still think it's a poor clearance to straight to Jimenez sort of thing. And the worst thing is, when you took that shot, not one of the players shot and closed him down, which cost us the goal. But I felt sorry for you, man, because I didn't think he was going to get back into the game until Jacob Murphy scored a late goal. And that's the second time he's on the late point.
We like our 1-1 draws, don't we? I went up to Newcastle last season as well, and we drew 1-1. But I remember seeing the free kick, and it was a soft free kick, but it was such a silly free kick from Cody to give away. And obviously Jacob Murphy, I'm sure our arch rivals Albion were happy to see it go in. And Patricio, you know, all keepers, look at Alisson in recent weeks. All keepers have a little bit of a blunder, and I think he let us down a little bit there. But I think you know, we can forgive him, because he saved us a lot of points in this time he's been with us. But yeah, a little bit of a nightmare for that one. And another game 1-1. I think we've played each other 5 times, and I think 4 have been 1-1s, and then the other one was 2-1, and that was right at the end, and we nicked it as well. So it's crazy, really.
Yeah, he's a talented keeper. I like you approach you all there sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, like I said, sort of things, highly rated goalkeeper, and like I say, he saved you so many points as well. I mean, I want to talk about Conor Cody as well. Your captain, is he a captain? I think he is a captain, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
He is, and he plays in the 3 centre backs there. Do you think he should play for England? Do you think he should play for the Euros? Because a lot of people are saying he should do.
It's a tough one. I mean, my walls at my head saying, start him, you know, base a team around him. But my realistic head says it's quite strange, actually, because I feel like Cody's England call-up came very, very late. And, you know, the first season we was up, he was doing really well. Second season, you know, we got to quarterfinals of the Europa League, and then he finally gets his chance, and he's played really well for England, to be honest. I mean, I think I don't know. I'll have to ask yourself from the neutral point of view, but you know, he got a goal against England. I mean, the last goal he scored for Wolves was a penalty in the Championship. So, that was kind of a novelty penalty as well, because we were 3-0 up and we'd already won the league. So he doesn't do that for us, but fair play. But actually, funnily enough, since his England call-up, I don't think his form's been the best. There's been a lot of games where, I mean, obviously, as you touched on before, we've experimented between a back 5 and a back 4 a little bit this season as well. A lot of fans have called for Nuno to be a little bit more expansive and try different things. There's been a lot of things in the background from the board that this is a transitional season and that we'll experiment a little bit. And I think it's an experiment that's gone bad. I think Cody certainly complements a back 3 a lot better than a back 2. So if you're talking about, is Gareth Southgate going to go with a back 5? I think he has to be in the question. If I'm honest, if it's a back 4, maybe in the squad, but he's not going to be in a back 4.
Nah, just a shame, because for me, I think he's a decent, tough defender as well. So, got some comments here, just 3 of them basic ones. Good evening, John. That's from Thomas. He's always on the chat. And got Alex as well. Hello, John. You can also hello Alex as well, by the way. So all about me is Alex as well. And like Jordan is done, he says hello, John Linton. He always calls us John Linton, and I don't know why, but he thinks they love to wind us up. Tell you a little story about him when I speak again. He also said hello, Matty as well. And what it is basically, there's a show called The Horseman of the Tune on the Monday night. And Paul the horse asks us how much you think John Linton would be worth today. And I said, be lucky to get £15 million. And I got absolutely ripped by the others as well, saying he's worth £15 million if they're lucky. And from then on, they keep on calling John Linton. And I don't know why, but it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun. But listen, I'm going to come on to him in a minute, man. But he doesn't play on Saturday. If he does, it's like playing with 10 men. But there you go. And it's just ridiculous, man. And so what can I do on that one? So
it's an interesting one with Joe Linton, because we were linked with him actually. And again, you know, obviously different circumstances, but similar to the Silva one. I think when you come in with such a big price tag, it's hard. But I mean, you look at Sebastian Haller. I think he's gone to Ajax and he's doing really well. You know, some players are very good players, but certain leagues and certain teams don't suit them. So if you paid that much for him, £15 million, he can't be worth any less than that, surely. I mean, obviously, I don't watch him week in, week out, but
oh man, you don't want to. You don't want him here. You haven't missed much. I mean, he's thought. Well, we paid £40 million for him. But Rafa Benitez did not want him at the time, and he told Matt actually he ain't worth the money. Maybe it's 20 million. Blah blah blah. Or he didn't want him at all. He just don't need John Linton because he's not fitting to Rafa's style. Yeah, and Mike Ashley told him apparently we're going to get him whether you like it or not. So Rafa Benitez is going to go anywhere. Steve Bruce comes in, right? Steve Bruce knew nothing about the signing, right? So they signed him anyway. Yeah. Steve Bruce told to say that this player's going to get us off the edge of our seats. And after the first couple of games, I thought to myself, hold on a minute, he's not going to make it. This guy has scored 3 goals in 60, is it 38, 65 appearances and 3 goals in 65 league games, right?
Wow.
Not spread up front. He played on the left-hand side. It's hopeless. On the right-hand side, it's hopeless. He tries on the 10. He's even worse. But at the end of the day, Steve Bruce just seems to pick him in some games. You know what I mean? I mean, Andy Carroll, he's not going to score goals, but he'll give it a go. Dwight Gale, but can play up front as well and play us on the and Bruce shoved on the right-hand side against Chelsea, which I think is an absolute joke. But Joe Linton, for me, and I'm 51, and he is the worst centre forward I've ever came across, ever seen him play as a striker. I've never seen a striker. He's the worst striker in my lifetime. Malcolm McDonald, he used to play for Newcastle for 5 seasons, 79 to 76. He's on NUFC Matters with Steve Ray. He's got his podcast channel, and it's amazing. It's worth checking him out. He's on a day, and he thinks Joe Linton's the worst striker he's ever seen. And when you get a legend of Newcastle come on and say that, believe you or me, he's 24.
Wow, I thought he might have been a bit older than that, but
yeah,
it's a tough one, isn't it? Okay, then I'll ask you a question then. So 3 years ago, scratch that, 2 years ago, Ivan Toney, talk to me about him because he's absolutely on fire, isn't he, in the Championship?
Well, yeah, he is. He is. I mean, I don't see much of him, but one thing I do know about him, he's got PS up front, and he can score goals, and he score left, he scores right, and he head the ball as well. But when he played for Newcastle, he hardly played because he hardly been in the team. But he's been bought in for the development side, you know. So what happened was, he couldn't get in the team, so he went to Peterborough United. They bought him for £650,000 and rising to $1 million. And he's been banging in goals for them. And then Brentford bought him for $10 million. And now he's rated at $25 million, according to the Gazette today. And for me, I just cannot see Ashley going to pay $25 million when he sold him for what, $650. Because I actually don't seem to sell players and they have to buy for more than you sold. Do you know what I mean? But like actually was a cheap striker sort of thing, you know what I mean? And hopefully it'll work out. It won't work out with Joe Linton because the guy is absolutely a joke. And he came to us on a 6-year deal. Joe Linton, 6 years.
Wow, that's wow.
And I'll tell you what, for me,
it's crazy, isn't it? You've got these people. I mean, I think we've had a bit of questionable decisions in our recruitment team, but you know, these people that are at the top that are making these decisions, they've got a lot of money and a lot of power. What makes them make these decisions? Why 6 years? I can't believe that. I'm saying as a neutral fan, wow, that's crazy.
I mean, the things I'm going to give that answer in a second, but guys, could you please stick a like on our video and also subscribe if you are new, and please leave comments in the sections down below. But you're right back to the scouting network in Newcastle. It's an absolute joke. I'm not being funny, right? We have signed some crap players over the years. Our transfer policy is an absolute joke. In the Alapaldi's days, right? We had a chief scout called Graham Carr, right? and you spanned about 8, 9, 10 French players. And I can think of only 3 of them's made it. And that's Johan Kabay, yeah, Moussa Sissoko, when he pulls his socks up, right? And to agree, Matteo Debuchy as well. And all the French players were good. And Johan Gouffran as well. Johan Gouffran's pretty good as well. But when he came to the championship, I thought he was a better player as well. But at the end of the day, they thought it was better value by French players and Premier League players at the time. And we probably got us 5th in 2011. I think it's 2011, 9, 10, 11, 2012 season.
Yeah.
Got us 5th.
I think that was your first season back in the Prem, wasn't it, from your initial relegation?
No, we came up and then because who was and then you got sat. Partly came over and we finished like 13th at the time. And then the following season, he got us 5th. And if you have time Patrice Cisse in the summer and not January, I think we would have got top 4. Though when he came, Patrice Cisse came to Newcastle, he was banging goals for fun.
Well, I think I remember that goal of the season. That was ridiculous. Ridiculous goal.
Ridiculous goal against Chelsea, man. Absolutely amazing goal, that. And, you know, that got us into the Europa League. And after that, he wasn't really the same player. Patrice Cisse, it's just a shame because he's a decent player. And he's still doing bits in Turkey now, apparently. Still scoring goals.
No way.
I think he's... Go on.
So just talking about the game then on the weekend, I've got to say, obviously, you know, certainly the players that we're going to be worried about is, you know, Saint-Maximin. You know, he's very, very similar to Traoré. You know, he's got scary pace, ridiculous skill. You know, there's a lot about him. You know, Shelby, Wolves fans don't like him, not at all. But he's a good player, as much as it pains me to say it. When he's on form, when he's in the mood, he can pull strings, to be honest with you. But I think your biggest asset against us will be set pieces. And obviously, you mentioned your man Carroll there. Obviously, whether he starts or whether he comes on, we won't know. But I think certainly set pieces could hurt us. We were very lucky in our last game against Leeds. I think they had at least 3 headers, which they probably should be scoring, to be honest with you. And I kind of feel like if you're going to win the football match, that's your approach. I remember us playing against West Bromwich Albion a few weeks ago, and I remember saying exactly the same against Allardyce. If there's a way to beat this Wolves team, it's that. And sure enough, they got 2 penalties and a long throw-in, and we came unstuck against them. So yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, the danger for you at the minute, we're looking at the Wolves side. I mean, Coutinho, he's coming on fire. He's playing on fire, and he's coming on alive. This guy's a fantastic player, and he really is. Score some goals as well. And you got Ruben Neves. Watch out for him as well. He can crack some free kicks. My concern is it's all fullbacks, Jamal Lewis and Emma. Those 2 fullbacks are absolutely poor at the minute. And if you're going to get some joy, it's going to come down to your front 3. It's going to be Finetto and Joy as well. Those 2 have got Soren Pierce, and Emil Kraft, who is at the right back, is absolutely poor. He really is poor. And he cannot tackle. You look at the goals he gave away. It was against Chelsea. He gave Werner too much space, and that cost the first goal. And he did exactly the same thing against Rashford, gave him too much space. Now, if Neto goes past him, Kraft will not get him. That's Jamal Lewis. I do like Jamal Lewis, but I yet to see the best of him. And I think Troy is going to cause him some problems as well. And I'll worry about your flanks as well. So
you say all this, and I would agree with you, but you know, there's 2 things I'm going to say. Whenever I feel like we should win a game, we tend not to, and also, when we played you at Molineux and other times that we've played you, our nemesis is teams sitting back against us. Sorry. Yeah. So our nemesis is teams sitting back against us. Now, if I was a neutral, I'd be giving this game a miss, if I'm being brutally honest. But I think it'll be an interesting one because obviously, because you're only 3 points above Fulham, you kind of really need to try and beat us. But that could be your downfall. If you do come at us, you know what we like on the break. So I think it could either be a really surprisingly cracking game, or it could be a bore boring game of chess, if you like.
Sure. I think for me, I have to agree with you there, sort of thing. But we need to start well, because if Fulham win their game on Saturday, we'll be in the bottom three. The question
Do they
is,
play it before you? Do they?
I think they played before us. Say, I mean, they got played on Saturday. So if Fulham win that game, and there's every chance they can do it, then we'll be in the bottom three. The question is, can we get in the bottom three? I don't think we will, because the players we've got are not good enough. I mean, the players don't talk to each other. Listen, I'll go as far as to say we've got some good individual players, some of them, but this is the worst Newcastle team I've seen for a long, long time, because they just don't talk to each other. There's no leadership. Jamal Lascelles, he's not been playing well at all at the back. He's quality on the Rafa Benitez, but under Steve Bruce, he kind of lost his way a little bit, you know what I mean? He came back from COVID. I can understand that. He's lost a lot of weight. And for me, he still doesn't look match fit. I mean, I'll drop him and play Kieran Clark and Federico Fernandez if he's that fit. Those two at the back and play a 4-3-3. And I think Andy Carroll needs to come in. But like I said, if Joe Linton play, then it's like playing with 10 men. He ain't going to do bits. Go back to John Joe Shelby. You mentioned John Joe Shelby there. He's been playing terrible. I mean, overhitting the passes. Yeah, he's been overhitting the passes. His set place has been poor, and his legs has gone. Real talk. John Joe Shelby is good in the pass, but not anymore. His legs has gone.
How old is he? He's not even that old, is he?
29.
That's what I mean. He's not even that old.
He's not, no. I think he's lazy, and for me, right, when the going gets tough, sort of thing, he just doesn't show up, and he just goes in hiding. And yeah, when he gets the ball, it's these Hollywood passes. He's all the time. It doesn't come off anymore. It just doesn't. And I've just got Paul here, sort of thing, and he's made a good point. Matty, set pieces. Come on, man. We can't set up dominoes at the moment. I mean, end of the day,
piece that got you back in the game like Molyneux, so.
But we're just terrible. I just sat back and listened to you, sort of thing. You know what I mean? But our set pieces, I have to agree with Paul. Our set pieces absolutely poor, and we just do not look comfortable on the ball as well. And also, our fitness levels is very, very poor at the minute. Apparently, we've been early training 3 times a week. Now, where the people to believe that, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm worried about the team in a minute. I'm worried going into the game. I'll get your predictions in a minute, because for me, I think this is the game we need to win. Have you got the passion to do it? Have you got the gall to do it? I ain't so sure. But what can you say about that?
I mean, it's interesting because you beat Southampton a couple of weeks ago, didn't you? I mean, I didn't see the game, but I hear it was pretty controversial. I mean, you went down to 9 men, didn't you? Because you had a player sent off and with the injuries. So it's not like it's been lose. I mean, we went 8 games without winning, so it's a bit of a strange one.
I know. If you talk about strange sort of things, well, we played well against Southampton. Jeff Hendricks got sent off for second good offence. Yeah, and then John Callum Wilson went off as well, which is a shame, and we missed him badly. But our record, if I give you the stats now, you're not going to believe this. For the last 16 games we've played, Newcastle only won 2, round 2, and lost 12. That is a sackable defence. And Steve Bruce, why he's still in the job, I just do not know. He should have been gone. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
I wanted him out before I wanted him in. You know what I mean? I did not want this guy in the club. No way. And the reason Bruce came to Newcastle, right, is to shut our fans up because he's a Geordie. Well, he's a plastic Geordie. He's a Manchester United fan. I don't care where he's from. Newcastle, he's from Corbridge, but he's a Man U fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
And I've got my guy Bazza here. He keeps changing his name all the time, which is great. So, chaps, Moore's supposed to be very confident of 3 points on the weekend. You guys are back on form. 3 wins and a draw. Baz, you're absolutely right. I hope you're okay. And hope you're having a fantastic day. So, yeah, like I said, I'm going to come with the predictions in a minute, yeah? And, obviously, you got to do things like, And, I think you'll stay up this season. I think you'd be comfortable mid-table. And I know Nuno's signed a new deal. And let's hope. I just want to talk about Semedo as well. Now, Semedo got from Barcelona.
Yeah.
And he's only young, but he'll come good.
Do you know what? Like, I'm looking at Semedo and Matty Doherty. Doherty's under a lot of pressure at the moment from Tottenham. I'm not really sure why. I think it's a bit harsh, but it's weird because Semedo on the ball glides past people at times, but then he's in the final third, his delivery's pretty poor. But Doherty wasn't. Well, he was all right on the ball, but when he's in that box, he's a danger. And if you could mould those two together, you'd have one of the best attacking fullbacks in the league. Obviously, Semedo's known because he got absolutely battered by not Leon Bailey, Bayern Munich. He's the guy from Bayern Munich, the rapid guy.
Yeah. Alphonso Davies.
That's the one, yeah. But I'm not being funny. Most people would, and Munich are fantastic. But no, I mean, I think he is an upgrade on Doherty. With the greatest of respects, absolutely love Doherty. You know, I think he was a brilliant servant for the club. But I think we got the best out of him. But no, it's coming together for Semedo, and he's starting to look like the money that we spent on him, because I think we spent close to 30 million for him, to be honest. But you know, when you're getting guys from Barcelona, you pay the money for it, and yeah, he's looking cracking. Johnny back on the other side, I think he's been a massive boost to our recent form. I mean, you mentioned the recent form that we've had. We've had 10 points. Doesn't tell the story completely. Arsenal, they went down to 9 men. Southampton, we were terrible first half, very good second. I think Leeds was a good game. They're on form, but it still could have gone either way. But the game I was impressed with was the Leicester game. I think, they're cracking, banging form, and we probably should have nicked it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Leicester are a cracking team in a minute, right? And you don't want to get a point off them as well. That's a very, very good point, and well done to you, because Leicester are a cracking team, and when Wolves are on it, they're on it, sort of thing. So I'm pleased for you, sort of thing. I was going to say, before I let you go, I need a predictions from you as well. And how do you think your guys are going to do on Saturday?
So sorry, Newcastle fans, I am going to back us to nick it. I think it'll be a tight game. I think you'll definitely have your moments. I'm going to go for Newcastle 1, Wolves 2.
Okay, fair enough. Just got Paul here. Realistically, lads, how many of our squad are going to jump ship in the summer? I think it's on about Newcastle's fans. For me, we got 12 players out of contracts at the end of the season. Plus, we got some good players like Fiesa. But that's another player. I mean, Ryan Fiesa. Listen, I've not seen the best of Ryan Fiesa yet. We had one good game against Palace. We got beat by 2-1. But a lot of people's coming on and saying that he's not happy in Newcastle because Boosters not playing him at all whatsoever. And he wanted to move to a bigger club like Spurs, Liverpool. And I think also Arsenal want them as well, but they must have checked his character reference and the way he left Bournemouth sort of thing, and he didn't up. And he was just cucaracha sort of thing, not a rat, cucaracha, because he wasn't allowed to Bournemouth. He just you just carry on when you get relegated and all.
Yeah, he just left him for dead, didn't he? It's not good attitude, that.
That is not a very good attitude. We get players with bad attitude. There's no one ain't gonna get Newcastle. No one ain't gonna get this guy the way he's acting in a minute. But under a different manager, like I hope that Ryan Fiesa come back if he does play. But I can understand the frustration against Sheffield United. I thought he got two yellow cards and he got sent off as well for it against Sheffield United, and he let the team do like with his 2 tackles. And the way he went off, he just didn't have the care in the world. And for me, if he get relegated, I think he'd be the first one. He'd probably be away, and I think ASM would be away, and me would be away. Mike Ashley is going to have to strip the club if you get in the Championship. And Steve Bruce, he'd be the one who should have got sacked. If we don't beat West Brom, if we lose tomorrow and we get beat off West Brom on Saturday, he should be sacked. He should be sacked because you have 11.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially if you lose to Albion.
Yeah.
Nah, we did. As much as it pains
like second managers, man. That's another thing. When you own up the club, you got to make a decision. It's your club, and you got to sack him if it's not right. But Mike Ashley does not like sacking managers who won't have a choice. I got Andy said hello. That means to us both. And Baza, my guy, living in the building, he goes, Matty, Joey, how frustrating he is to watch. Had a great season, but he seems to have stood still again.
Yeah, so I think I will have to go in a minute, but I think that the thing with Traore is last season he was brilliant. You know, he started to cut inside and scored some really good goals. He cut inside against Leeds, scored a goal. Cut inside against Palace this season, scored a goal. But the frustrating thing, 100%. But I think the big reason why Traore was so successful is because him and Jimenez linked up perfectly. So Traore would cut out the byline, he got his crosses in, and Jimenez was there to glance them in. You take, you know, Jimenez out the team, and he's got no one there. He hasn't got a target man. So I think that was a big reason why he was so good last season. But you know, I've still got the faith in him. You know, he's still frightening at times, isn't he? So
he is. You should keep him because at the end of the day, he's going to do some good things for you. I'm going to make my prediction quickly. You gave us, you say 1-2 to Wolves. I'm going to say 2-0 to Wolves myself. And that's going to keep. I mean, we're going to have problems on Saturday, sort of thing, you know. And I just hope I'm wrong. But at this moment in time, I mean, it's just, you know, we're going to be in trouble. Fulham wins that game on Saturday. We haven't got a counter to get out of the bottom three. I just don't think we would do it. But before I let you go, did you enjoy coming on the show?
I did. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. Keep up the good work. And
I will do, man.
With your relegation battle, apart from Saturday.
I knew you'd say that, wouldn't you? Go on, get away. you take care of that. Thanks for coming. See you soon.
See you later. Bye.
That's Matty, the Wolverhampton fan, and he's a great lad, and I do love the guy. So if he comes to count again, I've got a couple of moments to say. Joe is a hell of a player on his day. Paul, I totally agree with you. I also got Andy as well. How much is him and his Miss Shuan? I should have asked him that question, but for me, he's a bad miss for Wolves. For me, he's one of the best strikers in the country, sort of thing. You know what I mean? He's the focal point to the Wolves' attack. And for me, first of all, I'm just glad that he's better, sort of thing as well. So obviously, he's not going to be playing on Saturday, and he'll be a big miss for Wolves. So I think that'll be enough for me. And Matthew's been fantastic. He's a great lad, and let's hope that we get 3 points on Saturday. I doubt we will. I shall be back on tomorrow for the press conference reaction with Holly Blades. That's at 7 o'clock. And I've also got a bonus one as well on Friday at 8:30 with Brandon from Newcastle Fans TV. So please join us for that. I want 100 people watching live on that one as well, on both channels at least. So until then, guys, thanks for joining us. And I hope you have a fantastic evening. And until then, I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.